Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? It's Joe. Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn Live. Hi. As you're arriving, come and say hello in the chat channel in the comments section there. Let me know where in the world you are and what's for lunch. What's for lunch? I haven't had my lunch yet. We have just this minute, and I mean this minute, arrived back from Dorset, where we went to a festival this weekend. I went to my very first music festival and it was awesome. Absolutely loved it. Kids loved it. I loved it. Lots of great music. We saw Groove Armada and Fatboy Slim. My favorite new band that I hadn't ever heard before was the Sherlocks, which I very much enjoyed on Sunday afternoon. We had lots of fun. Reef was there as well. Put your hands on, put your hands on. Oh, yeah, I was rocking it out in the mosh pit at the front. It was so fun. We had such a great time. We're back for a few days, then we're off again on some more summer holidays in the caravan. Having a great time. How's your summer unfolding if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, or your winter if you're in the Southern Hemisphere? Hello, everybody. Ooh, Patricia is having a piece of cake for lunch that she baked for her soft play date. How lovely. Caroline is having beans and cheese on toast. Yum. I had baby rice cakes, those little rice cake things with flavors on the top, baby toddler food, and grapes in the car to keep me going. We intended to be back here at 12 o'clock, but the way these things happen with caravans, we didn't get back until 1 o'clock on the dot. I've just hooned up the stairs and here I am. So today will be a practice in professionalism to see whether I can indeed teach after arriving quite so late, but I'm sure we'll manage. So do say hello in the comment section as you arrive. Give me a wave, say hello. Let me know where in the world are you and what are you having for lunch today? Because today we are talking, it's the third in our series on wealth in preparation for Wealth Insights tomorrow. So Wealth Insights is our 4-hour workshop, a free introductory workshop that we run every year, once a year. It's happening tomorrow, August the 4th, starting at 9 a.m., bright and early tomorrow. So get yourself registered for that. You can do that at oneofmany.co.uk/wealth to get registered for the workshop. Completely free of charge. Please tell your friends, your sisters, your mothers, your grandmothers, your daughters, anybody who is interested or looking to be able to increase the amount of financial ease in their life. We're going to be demystifying what it takes to actually be easy breezy and sorted when it comes to money. Because there's lots of places that'll teach you about investing. There's lots of places that'll teach you about the mindset. There's lots of places that'll teach you about budgeting. But at One of Many, we've got a really great approach to kind of unifying approach to help you identify which piece do you need to be focusing on first and how should you be approaching that process. So tomorrow I'm going in depth on all of that at Wealth Insights. It goes for about 3.5 to 4 hours from 9 a.m. tomorrow at oneofmany.co.uk/wealth. Who's going to be joining me? Let me know in the comments section if you're going to be joining me tomorrow. I think it's going to be lots of fun. Oh, yummy. Ildiko is in Twickenham and having a lovely big fat omelette. Yum-o. Yum-o. That sounds really nice. Now I'm really hungry. So it is wealth time at the moment here at One of Many. And today I'm going to be having a chat about a tool to help you understand the places that you should be bringing your attention to make the most out of your wealth building time. And when I say wealth building time, I mean going to work. I mean how you manage your money. I mean where you're investing your money. It's like how do you know where the problems are lying? I think of it like this. It's like energy flow. If the energy is flowing easily through all of the various steps, it's kind of like, all of the holes of a piece of Swiss cheese all line up and the energy can flow easily. If not, if something is getting blocked, that's the place you need to be putting your attention on. So we want to be able to identify where is that happening. And I have a little tool to illustrate this, which helps us to understand it, called the Energy Outcome Matrix. So I am going to talk about that today. It's called the Energy Outcome Matrix. Now, that sounds like a bit of a long name. What does it mean? Well, I remember when I was first learning anything to do with personal development and in the early days, everything seemed to be around, you sort your mindset out so that you can make more money, right? Everything seemed to be about wealth, which was fine. It was just, what was going on at the time. I didn't have a whole lot of money, even though I was a doctor. I was a doctor at drama school paying a whole lot more tuition. So I didn't have a whole lot of cash. So clearly that was a thing. And I remember listening to this recording at the time of an American teacher saying, there's $14 trillion circulating around the planet. All you have to do is put up your own personal pipeline and bring the money down to you, right? Like sort of a meditation or something. And that was kind of nice, but it was quite ridiculous. I thought, oh, look, my husband's bought me a cup of tea and some water. Thank you, darling. So I was like, okay, I'll put my personal pipeline on. And I was listening to this particular recording at the gym, and I was on the treadmill at the gym. The irony is not lost on me that I was on the treadmill at the gym while I was listening to this. And, I listened to this over and over again. And I put my personal pipeline up, and nothing changed. Even though everyone I was listening to was saying, money's just energy. It's pure energy. You've just got to manifest it. La, la, la. Which is kind of true. What I now know is that there is an element of that it is true, that your energy does need to be in the right place, but it's not the whole truth, right? It's not the whole truth. And there is a whole truth to it. And that is the model that I've created to help. Like if money is just energy, well, that's all very well and good, but it isn't, right? It's just not. It's numbers in my bank account, or it's, coins and paper. That, like, it's also, I know if I look at that coin or I look at that paper under the microscope, an electron microscope, I'm just going to see atoms, and those atoms are the same as, anything else, right? I kind of get it in a quantum physics perspective, but this whole money's just energy thing never really made sense to me into how to make more of it. Who can relate to that? Who's heard these sorts of things? Your money's just energy, or just you can manifest it, just law of attraction, bring it into your life. And please don't hear that I'm, dissing that completely, because I know that there's an element, but it is not the only piece. I was spending ages doing law of attraction stuff. I put these little, I wanted to make $5,000 in 1 month to be able to pay a whole bunch of bills that I had to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to attract that in. $5,000, and I put little post-it notes everywhere around $5,000. I spent time in the gratitude for $5,000, and all it did was make me really needy and annoying at parties. It didn't help me at all, right? It didn't help me at all. So there is way more to it than that, right? Really way more to it. So let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at it. Yay! Victoria's saying I'm all booked in for tomorrow. Great. Ildiko's going to be there. Really looking forward to it. Very good. And Caroline is saying, yes, I relate. So let's understand this a little bit. In order to turn, this little model I've put together is to help you understand how we turn our energy into money. How is it that money is just energy? If money is just energy, if wealth is the outcome of our energy, then how do we actually apply our time and energy in the right way to be able to turn it into the result called wealth? Well, let's have a look at it. So basically, I want to start with and I'm going to go into this in way more detail tomorrow at Wealth Insights, but I want to give you an overview of the model today. The first thing to realize is that there are 3 phases to wealth creation, right? 3 phases, yeah? And by the way, if you know anyone who needs to know this stuff, please do tag them in the comments section. Tell your friends it's happening. Make sure they understand. The first phase is called the make phase, right? This is the make phase of wealth. And the make phase of wealth is the actual interface between where your energy does indeed get turned into financial, some money. In other words, you wake up in the morning with a certain amount of life force energy that you take to your job or you take into your business, and you do something which turns that energy into money, right? You might be answering emails in a customer service role, or you might be answering the phones, or you might be designing a website for somebody, or you might be managing people. But you are applying your life force energy to something, and someone is paying you money for that. Either a client or your employer is paying you money for that. Now, the problem happens at this phase where what we are applying our energy to is not something that is adding value, right? Is not something that is adding value. In other words, and I've got a really great interview I'm going to be sharing tomorrow with one of our Be Wealth graduates called Ros Dixon Burnett. And she was doing a really great job in her job. She was in financial services kind of industry, and she was doing really fabulous job at what she did. But she realized that what she was turning her energy into was just doing her job. It wasn't adding extra value for her employer, right? And when she identified that she had a ton of extra value she could be offering to her employer, she got herself confident. She, applied a lot of the other things from Be Wealth and went to her employer and negotiated, basically said, look, here's the things I do for you and here's how much you paid me for that. That's the amount of energy she was turning into money. She said, here's a big long list of all of the other things that with my skill sets and abilities I could be doing for you. And would you like me to do those? And her employer basically said, yes. What would you want to be paid for that? And she got a 50% pay rise right then and there in one conversation. Oh, I can see Ros is right there, actually. And that's because she looked at this make phase of wealth creation and realized that if she took her energy and rather than just doing what was in her job description, she took her energy and applied it to what was going to provide more value for her employer would then give her more money. That's the recipe for the make phase. Add value to people, they will give you more money. If you make better websites, you will get paid more than people who make average websites, right? At the festival on the weekend, there were people paying money to go to the good loos as opposed to the free crappy loos. If you add more value, people will give you money. So this is the recipe here, right? Is add more value. Write that down, ladies. Add more value. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow. But then you don't get stuck there. Most people get stuck thinking that if they want to make more money, if they want to earn more money, if they want to have more money, then they just have to work harder at the make phase, work harder at their job, get another job, make more in their business. I used to have so many people back in the days when I taught speaker training, so many people come in saying they wanted to build up a $1 million speaking business because they wanted to be a millionaire. Well, you don't become a millionaire just because you made $1 million in your business, right? That does not make you a millionaire. A millionaire is your net worth, how much your value of all of your assets is. So this is a clue here. It is not how much you make that makes you wealthy. Because if everything you make gets spent, then your net worth is zero, right? If everything you make is spent, then your net worth is zero. You're not going anywhere. So that what we need to do is there's two more phases to turn our earned income into wealth, right? And the next phase is called the manage phase, right? So now we've got some money that we've made, and now we need to do a different kind of apply a different kind of energy to it, and that is managing it, organizing it. It was really interesting. Some guys, great guys, wrote a book called The Millionaire Woman Next Door. Thomas D. Stanley was his name. Wrote The Millionaire Woman Next Door, and they found that all millionaire women manage their money. All of them do something very conscious at this point. And I believe it was 62%, I believe, 62% of women know exactly how much money they spend on, housing, petrol, food, education, whatever. They know exactly how much money is going out and where every single month. So every single pound or dollar that comes in has a job, right? And then There was another 38%, I think it is, that manage their money a little slightly differently, but what they would do is they would allocate money into buying assets first and only spend what is left over. So they would invest first and only spend what was left over. So they might not know exactly how much money they spend on petrol, but their money is going first to investments and then second to earning. So that is the manage phase. It's about giving every single pound, every single dollar, every single euro a job inside your wealth creation. Some of it goes for today on the housekeeping. Some of it goes on your education. Some of it goes on long-term savings. Some of it goes on having fun right now because we don't want to wait and have fun only when later down the road. But importantly, some of it goes to the third phase of wealth creation, which is the multiply phase. Oh, hang on, I didn't write down. So the manage phase is where you bring order to the money, right? So you've got to apply some of your energy to organizing your money. How many of you in the comment section, let me know if you are a good budgeter, right? You do organize your money. Everything gets a job and everything gets a job. You know exactly where it's all going, and some of it is going towards investments. Let me know if you're really great at that. Or if you're not, let me know in the comment section if you're not really great at it too. Where are you up to on the manage phase? So as I said, 100% of women millionaires have an active manage phase. They're not just focusing on earning money or making money, they are also focusing on managing it. So if you want to be increasing your financial results, this phase has to happen. The final phase is the multiply phase here. Right. The multiply phase is where our money makes more money. So this is where a little piece of what we're doing in the manage phase, right? And it might be 10% to start with of what you earn, or it might be 20%. It will change over time, but a little piece of that then goes into this multiply phase, and that money buys you assets. Now, assets are things which you control or you own or control that provide you a cash flow. So it would be things like, property, residential or commercial property. If you control the asset and the cash that is generated from that comes to you, right? Stocks and shares that pay dividends would fall into that category. Businesses that you don't have to work in, you can buy a business where you don't have to show up to work and it still makes money. That is an asset. If you have to show up to do work, it's not really an asset yet, right? You want to build up the asset base of it. Loans, if you are lending money to somebody and they will pay you an interest, that would be an asset. So that is then the multiply phase, which is where your money makes you more money. So these are the three phases of wealth creation: make, manage, and multiply. And millionaire women have got some of their attention on each of these places. They are not only focusing on what they make, right? This is really critical. So let's see. I said, how do you go with this? Nicola says, not at all. I'm terrified of money. Nicola, I hope you're coming to Wealth Insights tomorrow. We're going to help you with that. Caroline says, yep, I'm a planner. Doogie says, I'm rubbish on the manage phase. Chrissy says, I just started. Lisa says, I think I'm with the 38%. I push out to investments and then use whatever is left in the pot. That's it, Lisa. Great. Good job. Eleanor says, not good at management phase, but I know where some goes, not all. Excellent. So we're kind of a mix, right? We're a mixed bag here of different, of how we do that. But let me come and speak now to Nicola, because Nicola says, not at all. I'm terrified of money. Well, this is the thing, right? Because these three phases are not the whole story of how we turn our energy into money. Because some of us wake up in the morning with plenty of energy to organize our finances, to go to work and manage our money and organize our multiply phase, because we don't have any bad feelings about it. We feel great about it. It's just what we do, I show up to work. I jump on a call with Sam, who is my my financial controller in the business and we work through the finances. I have a look at the spreadsheets. It doesn't cause me distress. It doesn't cause me joy. It just is let's figure it out and sort it out and, kind of understand it. Now, I wasn't always like that because I never got taught how to read a profit and loss statement or a balance sheet, but I've learned it and I've got over my fears and I've learned it. But how much energy we have to either apply to all of these phases is diminished by the amount of negativity or yucky feelings that we have stopping our energy flow. Because all of this happens inside what I call your own personal paradigm. Now, your personal paradigm is like, so in Nicola's case, her personal paradigm is full of fear. Maybe because, and I don't know what it was for you, Nicola, but I know a lot of women who come along to Be Wealth with us have had big losses. They might have earned a lot of money. They had some money, but then they lost it all for some reason. Their business went under, or they lost the money, or they never learnt about it growing up and they were told they were really bad at maths at school. So they're afraid that they're going to screw it up and they're going to end up destitute. So they have a lot of fear around it, right? And then if you've got a lot of fear, then imagine how much energy you've got to apply to your manage and your multiply phases. If you're afraid, if every time you kind of look at numbers or look at your bank account, you feel afraid, how much free-flowing, joyous energy is coming out to do this? Can you see what I mean? Instead, you're spending a lot of energy trying to hold the fear down. I've got to look at my bank account, but all of my energy is over here trying to hold the fear down, right? I'm at my job trying to earn some money to get ahead, but all of my energy is over here holding this fear down. And it's not just fear either. It's guilt. Some people like, got to hold all my guilt out. I feel so guilty because I inherited this money and I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Or it could be shame. I'm so ashamed that I've hardly got anything, I'm not going to go to the financial planner because I'm so ashamed of what I've got or what I haven't got. Our energy we need energy to keep those emotions out of our daily life. And that energy is taking away. It's like everything's holding down. Hi, how can I help you today? You want me to build you a website? Great, I'd love to build you a website, but just don't look at my money shame. Just don't look at my fear around finances. Just don't look at all of this. I've got a big part of my unconscious energy is trying to keep this out of, and just to look good and be fabulous, and I'll help you. What is it that you want to do today? Oh, you want me to budget as well? What? Does this make sense, ladies? Give me a thumbs up or a little bit of love hearts there. Something that you can understand that if we are spending energy trying not to feel feelings around our money, then we don't have that energy available for these three phases. This is it. Nicola says it totally makes sense. It takes me days to look at my bank account. You got to psych yourself up, right? You got to psych yourself up. So you got a lot of fear in your paradigm. And it's not just emotions, it's also beliefs. If you have beliefs like, rich people are all idiots, or horrible, then you're never going to want to be one, right? That takes more energy away from you being able to focus on these things. Claire says, fear energy, I have a degree in. Oh, my darlings, we need to help you with this. I hope you're coming to Wealth Insights tomorrow. I hope you're coming, and we're going to talk more about that. But here's the kicker. It's not just your own personal paradigm. It's then around the outside of that, we also have our cultural paradigm. So we are swimming in a cultural soup in the UK or Europe or Australia or Canada or the States or wherever you are in the world, right? Wherever you are in the world, your culture is telling you about money and about your place in the world based on how much money you have. So, for instance, when I first moved to the Cotswolds, I lived in a really beautiful house, quite a large house in the village. In fact, it's one of the most beautiful houses in the village, but it wasn't the big house. And I remember walking to the woods every day, and when I would walk past the big house, unconsciously, like, oh, they must be really important, those people, because they have the big house. They must be really smart, really intelligent, really. All of these assumptions that I have about how special those people were just because they had the big house, right? And because that's what our cultural paradigm tells us, that those with more money are more valuable, that those people, they're more special. Now, you might not personally believe that. And of course, we know At some level, we know that's not true, that everybody is equal, but our society absolutely kowtows to those with more money. There's no doubt about it, right? Absolutely no doubt about it. And therefore, if you don't have a lot of money, then you're clearly not as valuable or as good or contributing member of society. You're not as valuable as other people. So that blocks some of our energy flow. And look at this, right? Isn't it convenient that for maybe a couple of thousand years, women weren't really allowed to have their own money, own their own property? They were largely just the chattels of their husbands or their fathers. What a fabulous way to ensure the low self esteem and low self worth of an entire gender. As women, we are still in the cultural paradigm of that. We still defer to our partners on financial decisions, even though most of the research points to the fact that women make better financial decisions than men. There's so much research. I'm going to share this at Wealth Insights tomorrow. So much research that shows that we women make better financial decisions than men do. Yet we will defer to the confidence of our menfolk simply because that's what we've been doing for 2,000 years. And I think it has to stop. We need to be doing this in partnership. We need to be taking responsibility. So let's say, let me kind of put this in one final way. Let's say you've got 100 units of energy coming into your wealth creation energy outcome matrix. Then it goes through the cultural paradigm, and the cultural paradigm tells you, well, you're a woman, so you don't know as much as men about money. So that might cancel out a few points of energy, right? And it tells you that you don't have a lot, so therefore you're not very valuable. So we're not going to listen to you. And you should just be grateful for what you've got. So that might knock out some. So let's say then from the cultural paradigm, I don't know, say 15 points get knocked out, and you've got 85 energy points coming into your personal paradigm. And then we say, like Nicola, for instance, who's terrified to look at a bank account, takes her days to look at her bank account. She's got so much fear going on in her personal paradigm that knocks off another 50 points, right? So she's got 35 energy points going into her make phase. And off she goes to work. Nicola, I don't know what you do for work, but you go into work and you probably don't think about earning money at all. I sincerely hope you don't run your own business, Nicola. That could be quite scary if that is the case. But you just go in and you do a good job, or maybe you're focusing on, helping people, or maybe you're focusing on, approval or recognition, or I don't know what you're and this is not what you're consciously focusing on, but what you're unconsciously focusing on. Then you're earning a little bit of money. But if you've got so much fear here, you might be making some money. Then that flows into your manage phase. But you're not doing any managing because it takes you 4 days to look at your bank account. Right. Nicola says, I do run my own business and have done for years. Well done, Nicola. Well done. That's good. Hopefully someone else is looking at your finances then. Hopefully you've got a good team around you. Because you want, in your manage phase, you need to look at your money, and then some of your money is then going to go into your multiply phase. But if we've got 35 in here, and then maybe we're not, maybe if all of that energy is adding value, then you get 35 out. But if some of this energy is for approval or recognition or other things, then maybe it's only 20 points that come out into the manage phase of energy. Then we've got 20 units of our energy available to organize our budgets. We hate doing that. We're afraid of it. So we do a little bit of it. But then we've only got maybe 5 units of energy left to do our multiply phase. Does this make sense, ladies? Now, I don't know what your numbers are, but this is the point here where wealth is built. Wealth is what happens with the money that is left over after you've done your day to day, and what you do with that money. That's where wealth happens. And if you've only got 5 energy points left available after all of this to do anything with that, to learn anything about it, to apply it, to talk to your IFA if you've even got one, or to buy your properties or whatever it might be, then it's going to be very, very hard for you to build wealth. Does this make sense, ladies? So this is our energy outcome matrix, and we run through this. I'm going to go through these pieces in a little bit of a slower way tomorrow and help you to understand them and reflect on them for yourself personally. But everywhere where there's, actually, let me use the red pen here. Everywhere that there's a block, cultural paradigm, if you've got some personal paradigm blocks, if you've got some value, I'm not valuable, I don't deserve kind of blocks here. If you've got, I'm afraid of budgeting, I don't understand maths blocks here. If you've got, I've never invested, I can't invest, and rich people are awful anyway. Anywhere where you've got these blocks are places that you need to put your attention to be able to free that energy flowing so that you can build wealth, right? That's the key piece. And tomorrow, in the workshop that we're doing from 9 o'clock a.m. London time on Wednesday the 4th, I'm going to help you to identify where you're blocked in each of these areas. Which of them are the places that you need to bring attentions? Which of these are the places you need to bring attention to be able to transform and get that energy flowing? So, what can you see from this, ladies? Please let me know in the comment section what you're taking away from that. Make sure you get yourself registered at Be Wealth. So, if you go to oneofmany.co.uk/wealth, oneofmany.co.uk/wealth, you can get yourself registered for the workshop tomorrow. It's completely free. Please feel free to share it with your friends or anybody else that you know would help. Share it to your Facebook page, and let's spread the word and equip and empower as many women as we can to be financially independent. I think that's critical. So there's some great shares here. Eleanor says, I hardly look at my bank account. I always worry what the balance might be. So there's a fear and a worry that's underlying that in the personal paradigm that you need to be having a look at, Eleanor. Imagine if money wasn't a worry for you. You could happily just look at your bank account, irrespective of what the balance was, and know that you can approach it and you had resilience and the ability to do something about it. How would that feel? That's how our Be Wealth graduates feel, right? Just figuring it out. Yeah. Caroline says, I get stuck on the deserving more. I'm not sure if I deserve it. So that is personal paradigm. Personal paradigm. I don't deserve more is a belief that you have, Caroline. In your personal paradigm, that's impacting your ability to be able to flow that through, right? Well done. Good. Yes. Doogie says it really helps to get those energy points. It helps to reduce the negatives. That's it, right? We've just got to minimize the places where the blocks are happening. Yeah. So Caroline says limiting beliefs of deserving and I don't know how. So that's just an education piece. So start tomorrow, which I think you said you were, Caroline, and we will start having a look at that. How do we learn this multiply phase, how to grow and invest? That's what's coming tomorrow. Ladies, I hope this has been helpful for you. It's my energy outcome matrix, which helps you to identify where you need to bring your attention, because there's absolutely no point going out and learning how to grow and invest if you are sitting in a big puddle of fear. Doesn't matter, because you're never going to do anything with what you learn if you're sitting in this big puddle of fear. It won't make any difference in the world getting a higher paying job or even winning the lottery if you haven't got the right personal paradigm or don't learn how to grow and invest. We saw that last week when we were speaking to Rebecca Robertson. She said, the majority of lottery winners end up going bankrupt within 5 years' time because they make a whole lot of money, but they've got no personal paradigm to hold it in. They just spend it. They don't manage it. They don't learn how to multiply, and bang, they end up bankrupt. So this is why we need to have a look at all 5 of these key pieces and be able to have ease and flow through them. Does that make sense, ladies? So if this has been helpful for you, please do share this to your own Facebook page, get the message out. It'll be live on our YouTube channel if you want to go. We've got Lunch and Learn lives and so many great content videos on our YouTube channel if you want to go check that out there as well. Send your friends there too. And finally, of course, we have our free workshop happening tomorrow. It only happens once a year, where you can really find some money confidence and understand where exactly your money blocks are, so you know what to do about it. That's oneofmany.co.uk/wealth, where you can get registered for Wealth Insights. Ladies, it's been fabulous spending some time with you today on Lunch and Learn Live. Have a fabulous week, and I look forward to seeing you, some of you, tomorrow. Bye.